Ladies and gentlemen, what happens when a regular person goes after William Ruto's failing government?
I have refused to fight silent battles on my own.
This is not Rigathi Gachagua, this is not Kalonzo Musyoka, it's not United Opposition, it's not Linda Mwananchi, it's not even a politician at all. It's a businesswoman. And yes, I said a businesswoman.
Pia mimi, I should be given equal rights. But I'm tired of certain people thinking wao walizaliwa, sisi wengine tulikuniwa. No, if there is a problem, sisi tunaongea kuhusu shida na tuko na akili. Meet one Mkenya mgani hana akili?
A woman who simply wanted to sell her products on the internet. A woman who simply wanted to see her business grow. A woman who thought that working hard was actually enough to grow her business in this country.
I am tired of working in vain. Kufanya kazi, unachoka na haina akili na haina faida.
You see, right now, there's a question that Kenyans are asking. Can you still succeed in business in Kenya without political protection? And if the answer to that question is actually no, what does that mean for the future of this country in terms of business?
Kuna mtu ambaye anko yake, anti yake yuko mahali fulani. Ndugu yake, dada yake yuko mahali fulani. Kwa hivyo yeye anafaa afanye biashara venye anafaa kuifanya. Lakini mimi sifai kufanya biashara.
Today, I want us to have a very serious conversation. I want this video to provide answers to every business person out there who has actually hit the wall.
Shiko is being set as a test that I fear many of us Kenyans will not pass, just the way we haven't passed other tests.
The questions that are being raised right now, they are bigger than one person. They are bigger than Shiko. They are bigger than politics. They are about the future of businesses in this country. Let's talk. If you love this kind of content, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Now let's get to the video.
Kasema hii ni RNG Plaza. Hii yenye nilikuwa nawaringia na mikate na nini, sasa hii haina. Naambia Shiko customer. Sasa hii sina. Hata hiyo sina. Hata yote ilienda. Kama mjasikia, nimepost kwa sneaker shop. Yote ilienda na wenye mali. Customer, ukiwa kwa biashara, leo unaweza kuwa uko the richest person. Tomorrow you are the poorest person.
You see, over the last few days, one name has dominated our social media. Shiko, his style. Videos of her crying, videos of her speaking in pain, videos of her explaining how she lost millions.
Utashinda huku kazi, unaamka asubuhi, unafanya kazi, after umefika mahali fulani, mtu anakuja na kukata mguu.
And the reason this story has touched very many people is because it's not just about Shiko. It's about every Kenyan trying to survive. Every Kenyan trying to create wealth without connections. According to reports and public discussions online, Shiko built her brand by doing something that many people admired.
Ukichukua miguu yako kwa gunia, uende ujiletee kiatu yako. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you to help yourself. They can only sustain you if you are poor. Hiyo mentality itaisha.
She bypassed the middleman, and I want you to underline the middleman. Instead of buying from the local wholesalers, she went direct to where? To China. She built a business around direct sourcing.
It is exciting. We are opening container number 2. Tulikuwa tunangojea kuona ni nini. Trust me, ni kitu tumekuwa mkifikisha for a very long time.
And because she removed the middleman, she was able to sell products at a very cheap price.
Customer, ukitaka kiatu smart, kiatu unaweza vaa Nairobi utishe watu, dhao moja peke yake. Yes, utatisha watu. Believe me, trust you me.
Kenyans could afford the items. People respected that. People supported it. People watched her grow.
Machaji na manyonyo is. Popote Shiko wa hii styles atafungua shughuli yake, hata kama ni juu ya mawingu. Tutatafuta marockets tuende tubai hapo kwa duka yake jo.
Then suddenly, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority raided her businesses. Okay, it's business. And that is where the questions began.
And Shiko is being used as a test because that's what people do. In Kenya, that is what they do. They do something small to a mass of people. And then, when nobody does anything about it, they do it to everyone.
You see, the biggest issue is not even the raid itself. It's about consistency. The issue is fairness. The issue is whether the law applies equally.
Kwa sababu mnataka muninyanyase, mimi nisiuze. Nyinyi mnaweza uza. Lakini mimi sifai kuuza. Sasa nataka mtuambiane hapa ukweli hapa hivi. Kwa nini wewe unafaa kuuza na mimi sifai kuuza?
Why Shiko? Why now? Why her? And if her products were counterfeit, then what about everyone else? Those are the questions. Questions that the government has not properly answered. Questions that ordinary citizens keep asking. Questions that are becoming louder every single day.
And I like people who are trying to tread slowly and saying, you know, this is not tribal. Yes, it is tribal. This is a tribal problem.
Wewe utaki kusikia Shiko anauza. Wachana na Shiko. Shiko ni jina tu. Shiko inamaanisha utaki kusikia nywele ngumu anajisaidia. Hawezi taka kusikia faida ya nywele ngumu.
So let me ask a simple question. If I walk into Eastleigh today, what will I find?
Now, guys, I totally get where Shiko Styles' frustrations are coming from. And I honestly believe Eastleigh is not a conversation we Kenyans are ready for.
I've been on the forefront, even saying if we are going to have counterfeit agency go and visit her business, can we also see them go to Eastleigh? And I'm going to say it. You guys are afraid to say it. I'm going to say it.
If I walk into Eastleigh today, will I find replica jerseys? Will I find replica shoes, replica handbags, replica luxury brands? Those are the questions Kenyans are asking.
That agency is being controlled by someone from the Somali community and is being used to target businesses that are thriving of people that are outside that community. I'm going to say it since you wote wengine mmekataa kuisema.
Because many people are struggling to understand something. Why does anti-counterfeit authority seem extremely active in some areas and almost invisible in others? Why are some businesses raided aggressively when others continue operating comfortably? Again, these are questions, not accusations. They are questions. And you know what? Questions deserve answers. Because once people start believing that enforcement depends on who you know, trust disappears.
Kuna nyamesema hii kazi hatufai kuifanya. Wao ndio wanafaa kuifanya. Because mandugu zao, manko zao ndio kwa hizo maofisi. My friend, go and Google all the offices. Enda Google all the offices. Angalia kubwa ni nani.
Now, whether those claims are true or not, that is up for investigative authorities to actually determine. But the fact that such claims are being made public should actually concern everybody, because it points us back to the same question that we've been asking. Can someone build a business in Kenya without godfathers? Can someone succeed without political protection? Can someone compete fairly? Or must every serious entrepreneur find a powerful sponsor?
Mimi sina mkubwa yoyote. I don't have anybody in any office.
Now, there's another reason why this story is becoming even more important.
I honestly believe Eastleigh is not a conversation we Kenyans are ready for.
Lynn, Ngugi.
Now, if you have shopped in Eastleigh, a few things happen, right? You buy an item and they tell you, no, pay in cash. If you do not have cash, they will tell you, withdraw at this particular Mpesa agent. And then they call the agent, make sure that you have withdrawn, or they ask you to show them the message, and then they release the item or the goods that you are purchasing to you, right? That is actually their whole business model. We are talking about a multi-billion shilling industry that lacks accountability, transparency, and also knows how to do what? To evade tax, right?
Lynn Ngugi is not a gossiper. She's not known to chase drama. She's not known to have meaningless online fights. She focuses on stories that affect real people, stories that affect ordinary Kenyans, stories that expose deeper problems in society.
And now, since we are talking about counterfeit goods, I'm so happy that we are finally discussing this. If you're going to have a problem with people selling counterfeit goods, and I'm not advocating for counterfeits, lakini, see, we all know Eastleigh operates on counterfeit goods.
So when Lynn Ngugi pays attention to a story like this one, humans notice, because they understand that this issue must be bigger than social media, that it may be bigger than one businesswoman, that it may be pointing to a deeper economic problem. And that is exactly why this conversation matters.
In Kenya, only a few families, a few categories of people who know one another will be able to own 70% of the businesses. You will remain jobless. You will remain being employed in very unbearable conditions. That independence that you look for in businesses will not be easy to achieve anymore as it has previously been.
Now, let us ask the hardest question. If someone who imports containers can actually struggle like this, what happens to small traders? The likes of mamambogas, saloon owners, boutique owners, someone who sells clothes on TikTok, someone who uses their help to start a business while they are still in the university, someone who has taken their life savings and they want to invest that into a shop. Because that is what makes this story very scary. Many Kenyans are looking at Shiko and they are seeing themselves. They are seeing their own fears. They are seeing their own frustrations, their own struggles. And that is why the reactions have been so emotional.
As business owners, there is something that needs to be done. Don't look at Shiko's problem and say, hey, they're just taking watu wa viatu. They're just taking no. You and your mafutas, you and your bleaching products, you and your perfumes, you and your even food and clothes. You are the next.
You see, for years we've been told that Kenya is open for business. We've been told that we have to be innovative. We've been told that we need to create jobs. We've been told that we are not going to wait for the government to bring us employment. Fine, but let us now ask the question honestly. What happens when people actually do that? What happens when somebody builds a successful independent business?
Hakuna, zimeenda hivyo, si zangu. Ninakwambia ukifungua biashara, ile nyiko mbele yako, hiyo ndio yako. Kula madam na ushibe. Hizi zingine si zako, ni vitu za dunia.
What happens when somebody becomes a serious competitor? Do they get support or do they become targets? Because if independent business cannot thrive, then our economy cannot thrive. It is that simple. Government do not create prosperity. Businesses do. Entrepreneurs do. Traders do. Manufacturers do. And if those people begin feeling unsafe, then the economy will suffer.
Bad governance bring bad policy. Na hakuna watu wanaafekti yangu kama wanabiashara na serikali ambayo haielewi. They need to separate politics. They need to separate tribal and interests that tribe. And they need to ensure that the business environment is so conducive for anyone to do business. Because if an economy thrives, everybody, regardless of which tribe you come from, will thrive.
You see, when the president came into power, he promised us bottom-up economy. That was the promise. Empower the ordinary citizen, empower small businesses, empower hustlers, empower entrepreneurs. That was the message. And we bought it, we believed it. So the question now many Kenyans are asking today is simple. Is this now what bottom-up looks like?
Mko na bunduki na mko na pesa. Mimi tu niko nao niko na Mungu. I am tired of listening to Kenyans cry because of poverty. Na si ati hatuna akili. Lakini ukifikiria ukienda kujipanga, mtu anakuja na kukata miguu.
Is this the environment where small businesses are supposed to thrive? Or are we creating a country where only those with powerful connection can actually thrive?
Wao ukichukua miguu yako kwa gunia, uende ujiletee kiatu yako. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you to help yourself. They can only sustain you if you are poor. Your mentality itaisha.
And that is why this story has become bigger than Shiko. Much, much bigger. It is no longer just about one business. It's no longer just about one raid. It's no longer just about one entrepreneur. It's about the future of business in Kenya.
If you know you're not part of that elite group, part of those elite families, you are not any different from what is happening to Shiko.
It's about whether hard work is enough. It's about whether ordinary citizens can actually succeed without political protection. It's about whether the law applies equally to everybody. And most importantly, it's about whether Kenya is still a place where anybody can build something from nothing. Because if the answer to all those questions is no, then we have a crisis that is far bigger than politics.
So, easily when it comes to taxation is a no-go zone, and that's okay. But here's the kicker, and this is what I think we should do as a country. Because if someone tries to open a business in Luduli, tell me how many licenses you need. Even a small trader right now, they will talk to you about e-teams, they will tell you this and that. But if we have sectors that are okay not issuing ETRs, and here we only take cash or please withdraw, then let that apply to everyone. Because if you cannot tax or you cannot develop plans, effective plans to tax a section that is closing in on billions of shillings per day, then leave small traders alone.
And that is why millions of Kenyans are watching this story very closely. Not because they're interested in Shiko alone, but because they are trying to see their own future in her story. And that should concern all of us. So tell me in the comment section, what do you think was happening here? Was Shiko being targeted? Ama we've overreacted? Tell me in the comment section and do not forget to subscribe.